I'm not gonna lie, I've been putting off finishing this month 3 video for almost a month.
Month 2, week 1 is in the books. I had a really awesome start to my second month of training. I had one of my best gym sessions bouldering that I have had, like, ever. What I'm striving towards is focusing on what my body is capable of and what I can do rather than what it looks like necessarily, because you don't have to look a certain way to climb. I came up with a mantra to tell myself when I would start freaking out. I am safe, I am capable, I am confident. And it worked. I'm super happy with the progress that I made, and I can't wait to do month 3, the final month of Elevate. I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited for the home stretch. I just finished week 1 of month 3 of Elevate, which means we are in the last month, which I literally cannot believe it is the last month of Elevate. Crazy that there have already been 2 months of training. If you haven't watched those videos, you can go back in my playlist and watch month 1 and month 2. Like the previous 2 months, we started this month with another assessment. I did 4 pull-ups on my assessment, 4 full bodyweight pull-ups. Last month and the month before, I did 2. So I am 100% confident that by the end of this, I'll have 5 pull-ups. And again, for this month, we are changing our hangboard protocol. Last month we did repeaters, and the month before that we did enduro and isometric hangs. This month we are doing minimum edge training. Minimum edge training is kind of funny because in that workout I only did 3 hangs, and that was good. It was good. 10 seconds on, 3 minutes off, 3 times, but it was hard. I also had a limit bouldering session this week where I worked on a V7 that I had previously given 1 or 2 good burns on. So I worked on that with a friend and it was a lot of fun. And then this week I also had my birthday, where I actually had like my whole family come to the gym and climb, and friends were there, and it was like a big birthday party. And it was really cool because my family climbed for the first time, and I sent my 12A lead project in front of my whole family. So that was really awesome. I spent 1 previous session projecting it, so I went back and I sent it on my first try in front of my whole family, so that was pretty cool. I took a big victory whip to freak them all out. But yeah, overall, really solid first week. Unfortunately, my left wrist has been really bothering me for about a week and a half now. I don't know what's wrong with it. I thought I slept on it weird, but it's been persisting, so I think it's probably more than that. I decided to take this next week off to let it rest and hopefully recover. Also, in my week off, I plan to finish Vertical Mind, which I've been reading for the past week or so. It's a super interesting book. It actually feels like the Elevate handbook. It covers a lot of similar topics, and the whole point is the same: psychological approaches for optimal rock climbing. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the mindset work that we've done in Elevate has been the most game-changing for my climbing, and this book really delves into that in a similar way, which is really cool. So if you're looking for some mindset action in your climbing, I highly recommend. All right, I am back in action. My week off was really good. My wrist pain is gone. When I got back into my training for this week, an important thing is I made sure to do a really good, proper warm-up for my wrist, for my whole body. Something that I've definitely neglected in my climbing over the years, and it's something that I always say, I'm going to start warming up, but now that I was in pain and, risked an injury possibly, just from overuse, I definitely want to make sure that I am taking care of my body. So after my week off, Elevate took a week off for Thanksgiving. I did some training and I did some climbing, although I did kind of my own thing on climbing. Something that I've been working on is on-sighting on lead harder climbs. So I gave an on-site attempt on a new 11B in the gym, and I almost made it to the top, but I'm still proud of myself because I implemented some things that I have been afraid to do in the past. One, I kind of just went for it. I didn't feel like I had to top rope at first. I didn't feel nervous. I kind of was just like, yep, I'm gonna try this, see what happens. And the second major thing that I did was I was not afraid to climb past a quick draw to find a better stance to clip at. So usually when I'm climbing something and I'm scared, I will clip as soon as I can reach the draw, which is not always good because you're not always in a restful stance, you're not always in a best stance, and then once you clip it, you climb another move and you're like, wow, I should have clipped from here. Like, this is great. That would have been so much less strenuous. But when you're scared, you don't think like that. But during this climb, I was actually able to assess that in the moment. I was underneath the quick draw, but I knew I could reach it if I tried, but I also took a second, realized this is not where I should be clipping. Like, this will be really hard. So I climbed a couple moves further, found a much better position, and clipped the quick draw. And I'm really proud of myself for being able to stop, take a second, assess, and move forward. And even though I didn't send, that's some good progress. Right now, I'm in the middle of the week, so I have already done a climbing session this week, limit bouldering, and I almost sent a V6. I almost wrote it off when the set went up. They didn't grade it, and I looked at it and I was like, that seems kind of cool. Then I saw the grade and heard people talking about it being kind of difficult. I was like, well, never mind. But I decided to just try it, and I almost sent it, and I'm like 100% certain that when I go back, I will send that climb, and that'll be it, and I'll have sent another V6. I also went bouldering outside this past weekend and went to Wildwood State Park right here on Long Island. Shameless plug for the Long Island Bouldering Guide. And I worked on a V5 called Slap Up, and I'm right there. By the time I pieced together my beta, the top out it was like kind of sketchy, but then I figured it out. And I was like ready for the send, but the sun was going down quickly. My fingers were getting very cold. So I'm hoping for one more good day, one more like 50-degree day before like it's real winter, so I can go and send that, because that will be my third V5 outdoors, which is pretty awesome because my goal for the whole year was to send V4, and I'm well on my way to sending 3 V5s. So, feeling so good. Halfway through month 3, I was experiencing some wrist pain that kept me out of training and climbing for about a week. Just a week back in the gym after that, I hurt my shoulder. I strained it, going for a pretty dynamic move that I really knew I shouldn't have done. I just couldn't have done it controlled enough in a way that I felt comfortable with, but I wanted to go for it and see what would happen. Confidence is good, but you don't want to put yourself in a dangerous situation. I couldn't lift it past 90 degrees for like 2 weeks. I couldn't raise my arm. I ended up getting it looked at by a professional, and thankfully, he said it was just a strain, and I did some shoulder PT and took some anti-inflammatory medication that it would go away, and thankfully it did, and my shoulder is so much better now. But that kind of got in the way of my last bit of training, and I didn't get to finish out the program the way that I wanted to. So I've been back climbing after my shoulder injury for about 2 weeks, and I'm feeling pretty good. I finally did my ending assessment because I at least wanted to do that and have that benchmark kind of done for the whole program. So I increased my push-ups. Did not hit the 5 pull-ups that I wanted to, but I hadn't been training pull-ups for 3 weeks or a month at this point, so what are you going to do? It's just consistency is key. Although I was able to hit 3 pull-ups, which at the beginning of the program I was doing none. So beginning to end, major improvement. But ultimately, I'm pretty happy with my ending assessment results, and overall I'm really happy with the program. So now that month 3 is kind of over and the program is over, I wanted to share some kind of general thoughts about the program and how I'm feeling. First, it was really awesome training with a group of women climbers. Everybody was so supportive and nice and excited for each other's successes and there for each other when we got hurt or didn't have the best days. So it was really amazing having a supportive community throughout the 3 months. Chelsea was a great coach. She was very in tune with the things that we kind of wanted to talk about. And, you know, I've said it before that the mindset gains from this program are definitely the biggest thing that I'm taking away from it. I feel more confident in my ability. I feel more ready to make big goals for myself, to set big goals for myself and really believe that I can achieve them and put in the work to do that. That's really where I feel like I'm going to see the difference in the long run. I do feel like I definitely got stronger. I think the hangboarding totally helped and has been effective. I'm actually working on this V9 Plus in the gym. It's a vertical, very crimpy climb. I'll insert some clips of the holds, but it is insane crimping. And I'm this close to sending it. Hopefully I'll have a video of me sending it because I'm going to the gym tonight. But anyway, so with all of that being said, I'm really excited to incorporate the things that I've learned in this program moving forward. I'm excited to get back to climbing for fun. I'm excited to incorporate hangboarding. I'm excited to get back to weightlifting and strength training, which is something I really love doing and didn't really focus on for the past 3 months. So yeah, and I definitely will be adding in climbing specific exercises that we've done. I want to continue working on pull-ups and continue doing all of these things that we worked on that are geared towards climbing, and focusing on continuing to break down the limiting beliefs that we identified and started working towards, you know, overcoming. I'm well on my way thanks to Chelsea and Elevate. So I think leaving the program, I have a lot of tools that I can now pick and choose when to use them, how to use them, and I feel informed and ready enough to do that. This was a great experience. I'm grateful to everybody who was in Elevate with me. I'm grateful to Chelsea for having the program and letting me join, and I'm grateful to myself for dedicating this time to me and my climbing, and I think that it has made a difference and it will continue to make a difference, and I'm excited to see where all of this takes me and what the future holds for the new year. I've thought about where do I see myself climbing, what kind of goals do I have in the long term, in the short term. In 2021, I want to sport climb a lot more. A long-term goal that I have for myself, I want to climb 513 within 10 years of climbing, which I think is entirely possible. I also want to push bouldering grades outdoors. This year, I want to send a V6 outdoors. I want to get consistent on V6s in the gym. Something I said I wanted to do this last year was lead a 510 trad. Did not do that. I would like to do it this next year, but I also want to focus on some more process goals instead of outcome goals. I want to work on overcoming my fear of falling. I want to do more fall practice. I want to become more confident when I'm climbing. I want to work on having a better attitude when I'm not having a very strong day, and seeing everything as a learning opportunity. I want to remind myself of the small wins every day. But if 2020 has taught us anything, we have no idea what the new year will bring.
So what I really want to do is give myself some grace if I don't achieve these goals. If I don't have the opportunity, or if for some reason it just doesn't work out and I don't hit the marks that I wanted to this year, I want to be okay with that. Something that Eric said to me a long time ago that I've continued to tell myself after, and I've said a few times in the Elevate group, is, if you want to be climbing for the rest of your life, you have to think of it as a marathon and not a sprint. Ultimately, I climb because I love to, and even if I never climb 513, I'll still love climbing. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be injuries and bad days and time that I have to take off, but I can't let things like that distract me from the fact that I love to climb, because I love to climb. I'm feeling positive and excited going into the new year, and I would love to hear about your climbing goals, what you achieved this year, what you will hope to achieve next year. I'd love to hear it, so leave me a comment here on Instagram, anywhere. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the new year.